It is my pleasure to announce our speaker is our friend and classmate, Reverend Margaret Flick. She is with us again, and her topic is Rays of Light Making the World Whole Again. Margaret has had a long experience in unity ministership. She's had several positions throughout the Bay Area, in Santa Cruz most recently. Um, For 8 years, she volunteered as a grievance group facilitator and bereavement counselor in Lake County. And she served often as speaker, teacher, and consultant to the many ministries in the Bay Area. And it's my great pleasure to announce again Margaret Flick.
Thank you.
Take it away.
It's really nice to see everybody, and I hope I live up to Dennis's kind words. Anyway, the title of my talk today is called Tikkun Olam, Restoring the World, Healing the Separation. And I'm going to share the screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation, so just bear with me as I share that. I'm going to close this and I'll share this. There, and can everyone hear me? Okay, good. So when Rachel Naomi Remen, are you familiar with her kitchen table wisdom? Anyhow, she's wonderful. When she was 4, she had her mystical rabbi grandfather told her the story of the birthday of the world. And this is it. And I love this story. It's out of the darkness. In the beginning, there was only the holy darkness, the Ein Sof, which means unending or infinity, the source of all life. And then in the course of history, at a moment in time, the world of 1,000 things, emerged from the heart of the holy darkness as a great ray of light. And then there was an accident, and the vessels containing the light of the world, the wholeness of the world, broke. The world of 1,000 things emerged from the heart of the holy darkness. Then there was an accident, and the vessels containing the light of the world, the wholeness of the world, and the light of the world was scattered into 1,000 fragments of light. And they fell into all events and all people, and were scattered, and remain deeply hidden until this very day. So there was this vessel that contained the light of the world, and then it broke into 1,000 pieces where they're within us, and they're hidden. And they're hidden in this particular story. It's people, but I think it's all beings. And just to let you know that right now, I kind of use different names for the divine, for, God, source, allness, spirit. And so whatever it is for you, or it could be nothingness. So just to let you know, that's why I'm doing it, because some people are very considered, very touchy about the word God. So anyway, according to Rachel's grandfather, the whole human race is a response to this accident. We are here because we are born with the capacity to find the hidden light in all events and in all beings, to lift it up and make it visible once again, thereby to restore the innate wholeness of the world. And so Tikkun Olam is a task in Hebrew, and it's a profound Jewish concept, the place where mysticism meets activism. It's the restoration of the world, and this is our collective task. It involves all people who were ever born, all people who are living on the planet now, and all people who are yet to be born, because we are the healers of the world. And that's what Tikkun Olam means, that we are responsible collectively for repairing the world. And the other thing that I find interesting is it's not about healing in a big way. It's not like we're all going to be known worldwide. It's repairing the world that is important to us and that is around us. So where we live, who we are in contact with, that's where we do our repairs. And that's, if we all do that, we will repair the world. So if everybody concentrated on who they know and what's around them, the entire world would be healed. And we also know that this is a story for our time, especially in the United States. Well, not especially, it's all over the world. There is darkness, there is conflict, there is anything but light and love. And so we really need to do this right now because we desperately need to restore our world to hold us and to bring forth the light. And we do so by restoring right relationship to all beings with forgiveness, love, and compassion. So for the first part of this story, in the beginning, there was only the holy darkness. Then the thousand things emerged from the heart of the holy darkness as a ray of great light. And I was thinking, isn't this how enlightenment starts? We're in the darkness. We're in a really maybe dark night of the soul. And how many people have had a dark night of a soul? I've had a lot of them. And the thing is that when we really allow ourselves to be quiet and to not be afraid of the darkness within us, that's when we find our light. And it is the light of compassion, it is the light of empathy, it is the light of forgiveness, and maybe something else. And that's something that's really important because the divine is in the darkness as well as the light. And this is how we heal ourselves and the world that touches us. So, how do I make a difference? One of the things that I'm really big on in almost every talk is for people to realize they are enough, that they are loved, that they are exactly where they need to be, and that we all have different chapters in our lives, that there are times when we are really able to be the light, and there are times when we're in the darkness and other people get to be the light for us. And so in my travels as a minister, I just so often hear how people really don't love themselves. And quite frankly, I didn't love myself either for a very long time. And that keeps us from shining our light because we then project what we can't accept about ourselves onto other people. And in program AA, they always say, if you've spotted it, you've got it. So most people are really unhappy with that particular phrase, but it's true. I mean, not always, obviously, but for the most part, if you find someone really annoying, it's probably good to look and see if you have that quality. And if you do, acknowledge it. So it's basically being honest with ourselves and loving ourselves no matter what. I know the Dalai Lama has often said that there is no one more deserving of love than you. And we are authentic. We don't have any pretense, so we can truly be present for others. Because if you're always worried about how you sound, how you look, you're not going to really be truly present for other people. And that is one of the greatest gifts that we can ever give another human being, is to truly be present. To not be thinking of what we're going to say next, but to really, really be there for someone else. And we accept ourselves. This is it. This is who I am. And I'm hoping to keep growing. But, depending on what chapter I'm in, we'll see, and I pray that I continue to grow, and I think I am. But, to just be okay with who we are. And to be grateful for all of it. I mean, I don't know how many of you have had a bad experience or a one that's negative or scary, and it has somehow changed your life. And realize that you wouldn't be where you are right now if that hadn't happened. So what we relate through joy and pain, our wounds, our frailties, our sufferings, are really portals to compassion. So if you've been through something and you can recognize it in someone else. You can be there for them because you have that compassion and empathy. We recognize the suffering of others and we offer compassion. And the other thing is to be in balance. We recognize the joy around us and let it illuminate our soul, because we affect each other. I don't know if you've had the experience, but to be in a place where the energy just feels so bad you have to leave, or it's so joyous you never want to leave because it's just really affecting the deepest part of you. And that's how we make a difference, because we really do affect each other. And so when we are able to offer the compassion, the forgiveness to ourselves and others, we are slowly letting the light radiate from who we are. And so the other part of that is we need to face the darkness, because as many of our heroes have experienced, you do have to face the darkness to bring forth the light. So if Martin Luther King, if there hadn't been racism, Martin Luther King would have been just another Baptist preacher, a really good one, but we wouldn't maybe know about him. Mother Teresa, she faced the darkness in herself and ended up giving a lifetime of service and eventually sainthood, because she faced it full on. And she knew that she could, at least this is what the quote I've heard about her, is that she realized that we all have the capacity to be Hitler. And so she said, I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to allow that. And so she just devoted herself to a life of service. And many of us have faced that as well. You know, a darkness, a challenging time. For me, it was recovery from alcoholism. But we're always in recovery. But I know that I would never have surrendered to what I consider God at the level I did if I hadn't had that particular issue. And so I am extremely grateful and humble, because it's, when you look at some of the things you've done, it's really hard not to be humble. So that's one of the things that I think is also important to restore the world, having compassion for ourselves so we can see and help other people. And we're honest, we look at ourselves honestly, and also look for the blessings. So if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned this. Even if it was horrible, to look for the blessings, because they're always there. Even if it's just, I survived that. And the story continues. There was an accident, and the wholeness of the world and the light of the world contained in all the vessels were scattered into 1,000,000 fragments and are hidden in all events and all beings. Our collective task is to find the light within ourselves and be all beings, so that we may bring wholeness to the world. So it is seeing the divine in all creation. And it starts with compassion and kindness towards ourselves and our fellow beings, or noticing beauty, especially in nature. And some of you might know that nature is my biggest passion right now too, especially while we still have what we have, to learn from nature, to learn from the trees and the water and the birds and other people, but to know that there is more than just humanity that contains the light of God, source. And so we find ways to look within. Like maybe if someone's having a really bad day and they're acting out, just saying, I don't know what happened to that person. Maybe they just lost somebody, or maybe they are sick, or they just got a bad diagnosis. I don't know what's going on with that person. So rather than judging, as Jeff Kober talked about, you just look at it in a different way. Maybe there's probably a lot I don't know. Or to be out in nature and to just go, oh, that's pretty, but to really see light reflection, to see water reflections, to see and feel the rhythm of the park or the lake or the ocean or the mountains, whatever it is, to really be present to the all-encompassing beauty and love that it was created by. And I know it's evolution, and I know it's all of that, but when I see things, especially in the park that I go to, it fills my heart with joy. And when my heart is full of joy, I can radiate that out into as love to other people. And so from Matthew 5:15, 5:16, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And so we know from Charles Fillmore and from Pierre Desjardins that love is the greatest force in the universe. And Fillmore calls it the joining force of the universe. It's relational, and it starts with ourselves. If we don't love ourselves, again, we're going to react rather than respond. And so when we're in right relationship, we don't project. We own our feelings and our actions. And because of that, we're able to radiate love. And that one of my friends who is a spiritual leader, she has this exercise, and I'd like to just have us do that right now, to just close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. And remember, whether it was real or imagined, a moment in time when you were so full of love that you were just brimming over, that your heart was open. And so remember that, feel it if you can right now. That moment in time when you just are full to the brim with love. Maybe it was a person, maybe it was an animal, maybe it was something in nature or an experience. To just take that time to allow yourself to feel that. And when you feel that, radiate it in your heart, all that love in your heart, to someone in this service. And then radiate it to someone who you know really needs it. And then send it to a place in the world that also really needs it. And be aware that that is always open to you. To just be present to what you experience or have experienced, and open your heart and keep it open no matter what. And so I love this quote from Rumi. At night I open the window and ask the moon to come and press its face against mine. Breathe into me, close the language door, and open the love window. The moon won't use the door, only the window. And so one of the things that I also believe, and I think you do too, is that what is our relationship with the divine? How much time do we spend in prayer and meditation? And it doesn't have to be sitting in a room. It can be a walking meditation. It can be, just being present to whatever is around us. It is being grateful. Grateful always is like a state of being. It puts me, at least, into a different place in space and time. And so whenever I'm grateful, I can see more and feel more of the divine. And so how do we feel more of the divine? So it's like, what touches your heart? So if one of your issues is the homeless, you can offer compassion, you can offer help, You can volunteer at a warming center. You can donate. There's all sorts of things that you can do. If people who are grieving are in your life and that really touches your heart, you can offer compassion, empathy, and presence. It's not that you need to fix them. It's not that you need to take away their pain, but to just companion them on their journey. Families in need, whether it's financial or housing, whatever it might be, you can offer support through donations, meals, like help to serve meals at one of the warming centers or, homeless places. And that way we're being love in action. And for the sick and the dying, prayer, presence, listening. Again, we're not trying to take away their pain, but we want to be present for them so that they feel the love and the safety of our companionship. And also children, beauty, nature, to be grateful and to allow it to fill our heart. And in that way, we are bringing light into the darkness. And so one of the things we're going to do right now is to go into a meditation. Even though it may have seemed like we already had one, this is another one. So again, let's take 3 deep breaths to center ourselves. And so when Rumi said to close the language door and open the window of love, what does that mean for you? How can you bring the light into the world? Are you comfortable with the darkness, knowing that the light is always there? We're just not seeing it at the moment. But in the quiet, to just ponder these things and what they mean to you. When you're ready to open your eyes, And so I'd like to close with a prayer, not a prayer, a poem. I'm not quite awake yet. It's called Stairway in the Park by John Rodell. And if you're a Facebook friend of mine, you know I post a lot of his poems because they're just amazing, I think. It says, he says, you are somebody's front porch to God. You are somebody's doorway to mercy. You are the world's threshold to kindness. You are my entrance to letting go of regret. No pressure, but your life is a gateway to peace for both strangers and friends alike. Whether you realize it or not, empathy has chosen you to turn your heart into a welcome mat for others. This is one of the purposes of your life, to let your existence become a candlelit veranda of hope for the rest of us to gather on, as we hold each other close in the long, dark night. Thank you.